All right. Good morning, everyone. So today I get to do a $351 recap. um, I went over some swing trades last week that I was building into, and decided to go ahead and close them today. Um, just this pipeline thing that's going on. I think that it's going to cause a little bit of a disruption so long as the pipeline is closed or it's down. I think there's going to be a response in rates, which I was short on the TLT. And whenever rates go up, the TLT goes down. But if we're going to have a disruption in the economy, I mean, energy is a pretty big deal. Rates are probably going to go down. So went ahead. I had averaged into 100 shares short on the TLT, and I was anticipating holding this for about the next 6 weeks. However, I'm going to wait until this whole pipeline thing gets resolved before I initiate any more shorts on the TLT. Same thing with the dollar. If rates are going to go down, people are going to run to the dollar for safety. If there's a national emergency that's been declared for like almost the entire East Coast, and so I was starting to average into a short position on the dollar as well as the TLT. But today I decided to go ahead and just kind of let it go, and I'm going to wait until after this pipeline thing is resolved. And then also, so I was looking for energy. This is BNO here. I had options on the BNO. I closed half of my position last week because I hit a target price I was looking for on BNO. And this is the second half. I had averaged into 20 options on the BNO with an expiration in July. And so my thinking is that if we've got gasoline backing up, then we most likely will have oil backing up, so oil supplies backing up. So I just want to see what happens after this pipeline. I'll get interested in being long oil, short the dollar, and short treasuries again after this whole pipeline thing resolves itself. CLF turned into a momentum trade. I originally had price support for a pullback after some profit taking. I'll show you how I traded it here, and I'll go over some of the other trades. Now I got lucky, so I haven't been putting orders in prior to the bell because things have been acting a little bit strange. Now, WB wasn't acting strange. It was kind of pinned to $50 here prior to the bell, dropped down a little bit to $49.53. But I didn't have orders ready to go, and I consider myself kind of lucky that I didn't have orders ready to go because I distracted myself with action on CLF here, and it kept me out of these levels on WB, on Weibo Corporation, which really, really just took a dump. So we'll go over that here in a second. Let me go over the one trade CLF. So I was watching CLF. I actually I favored this one because it has a lower stock price, at $21.33 for an entry. I was looking at entering between these two numbers on 1,000 shares, going kind of heavy on it. But it didn't come close to my numbers, and then it broke the high of day, and so I started averaging into, I think it was 500 shares here. Yeah, 500. I averaged into 500 shares right here around $22.25, and it did a nice job. It broke above and went up, and when it started to come back down again, I sold it right here. So I only made about 14 cents on average per share on this trade, maybe a little bit less. So not a big win. It's roughly, let's see, 27, 39, 46, 40, almost $50 on those 500 shares. So I got about actually I got about 10 cents on average per share on those shares. So that's kind of it. I mean, otherwise, just kind of closing the swing trades that I had on oil, the dollar, and treasuries puts me up 351 bucks for the day. Not much else is really going on. The TTD is another one that I had on watch, and this thing just completely sold off. This is kind of strange too. I guess there's the trick, trap, fool, and frustrate crew. This thing, TTD reported earnings, the trade desk reported earnings, has a surprise upside of 75%, with forward guidance being positive and so on and so on. And it is just sold off brutally. It's down. It was at one point it was down 20% on the day. It just I don't know. That seems really strange to me. I think WB is quite similar. 16%, almost 17% surprise to the upside, and just gets a smackdown. And with forward guidance, that looks good too. I don't know what's going on. I started a 10 share position on Coin late last week at about $263 a share. Let me look here. At Coinbase, I have 10 shares at $263.42. The reason that I got into this is on the daily here. So this thing was supposed to have been the IPO process. Now this was a direct listing, so it wasn't really an IPO, although people will call it an IPO. It's a direct listing. And the rules for direct listing are a lot different than an IPO. But anyway, this thing was supposed to open, well, it was solicited at $250 a share. And I traded on this day, and I made a little bit of money. I think I only traded 200 shares. I think I made like 400 bucks on the opening day on this kind of run up. It ran up and fell back down again. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens when it approaches $250. And here on this day, on the 6th of May, it hit a low of $250.51 and then bounced away from it. Wound up closing at $256.76. And so I was like, okay, so it bounced off at 250. I'm going to put in an order for 10 shares. And see if this thing starts to run now. Earnings are coming up this week on the 13th. Who knows what will happen? I don't know. I don't have a lot of risk in it, so and I'll just if it falls back down to 250 again without me getting out of it, without being profitable, then it's only a matter of about 150 bucks on 10 shares. So I'm just going to kind of roll with the 10 shares for right now. If it starts to break it back into its opening day's range, that's when I'll really start to add some size to this trade. This thing's been forecast to go, through the roof. There was a whole bunch of hype around this IPO, and you can see, it was basically pretty disappointing. But now nobody's talking about it. It's yesterday's news, old news. Maybe this thing can start to kind of creep up and move into the stratosphere where everyone expected it to go. CLF, okay, yeah, that went over that one. TTD went over that one. WB went over that one. And Vail here, now it's after 11 o'clock now, and I don't like to enter into trades after 10:30. I definitely don't like to. I will sometimes enter into a trade before 11 o'clock, but you can see this thing just hasn't come into my levels, and it really hasn't done anything with price. Really no momentum entry here at all. There's no entry in here. Came close to high of day here, right here. Just couldn't make it through. I don't know. It just it might get down to my levels later, but I'm not interested. I want to go home. I've got some yard work to do. It was a cold, windy weekend here in Baltimore, Maryland, and didn't get a chance to get outside and cold, windy, and rainy. So I didn't get outside to mow my lawn this morning or this weekend. So I'm gonna go do that now and then take a nap probably. All right, everyone. That is my trade recap for the day. Good luck out there. Keep your risk tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you at tomorrow morning's strategy session. I am out.